The IRS can be relentless in penalties and interest for unfiled tax returns. Although in extraordinary circumstances, they may make an exception. The IRS is diligent in following the law of the tax code for filings and payments. The IRS explains on their website, www.irs.gov, that most taxpayers must pay the previous year's taxes by April 15th. Tax laws allow them to assess penalties and interest on any filing done after this deadline. This includes a failure to file penalty of 5% of the tax amount due every month, not to exceed 25%, and a failure to pay a penalty of 0.5% of the amount due if there was a tax balance on the deadline. The maximum fee on both penalties to be assessed will not exceed 5% each month. The failure to pay a penalty is not assessed if the filer is due a refund. The penalty for filing return late is generally higher than the penalty for paying taxes late. While the IRS is stringent on the deadline to pay taxes and rarely makes exceptions, they can be accommodating when the extension on the deadline is needed. If the return is filed by the extended due date, the failure to file penalty will not be assessed. Failure to pay penalties can frequently be avoided if payment for at least 90% of the total due is included with the extension request. The balance is paid in full by the new deadline. If a return is filed 60 days or more past the extended due date, the taxpayer will be assessed a penalty of $135 or an amount equal to the total of the unpaid tax, whichever is less. Filing your tax return on time, whether or not you can pay the whole amount due, can save a substantial amount of penalties and interest. As I mentioned a moment ago, extraordinary circumstances may cause the IRS to consider diminishing penalties or waiving them altogether. Some of the extraordinary circumstances may be a death in the taxpayer's immediate family or an extended stay in the hospital. Having no access to W-2s or other income documentation is rarely considered an extraordinary circumstance, as the IRS can provide a record of your income for use in preparing your tax return. This is called a wage and income transcript. The basic information obtainable from the transcript will be enough to begin the process of preparing your returns and will guide you through the process of gathering the additional documentation necessary for the completion. Avoid the expense of a failure to file penalty by taking these steps before the tax filing deadline. No other penalty relief will be considered until the returns for all applicable tax years have been filed. Should no tax years be filed for a given year, the IRS will file one for you based on the information in their records. These are called substitutes for returns, 6020B, returns or arbitrary assessment. While this may seem convenient at first glance, be aware that substance returns don't include deductions or credits, such as your filing status, dependents, or write-offs, which often result in a tax amount due that is much higher than your fair share. Penalties and interest are assessed using their inflated tax amount due, further increasing the balance you owe to the IRS. Avoiding the failure to file penalty can be simple for most people, but avoiding the failure to pay penalty isn't always easy. While we can help you catch up on your tax filings, our services don't end there. Once we've resolved your filings with the IRS, we turn our focus into negotiating an abatement of penalties, an affordable installment agreement on your behalf. Our team of experienced and accredited tax professionals takes pride in presenting your best interests in tax resolution all year round. Give us a call, 800-518-8964, or visit our website at www.taxchampions.com for more information about back tax resolution and our affordable services. We're available most evenings and weekends for your convenience.